courts have ordered him to pay child support, pay for extracurriculars, for daycare. He's still stuck in this loop of nonsense for a kid that isn't even his. This guy is Captain Bad Choices. He needs some guidance, man. He needs some serious guidance. This dude is like, he's in trouble.
She of all of her kids. She knew that was a lie. She met the kids and stood in their home. That wasn't confusion. That was strategy. Maria knew that if she could convince people that Hadley was a terrible person, the attention would shift off of her and the truth wouldn't matter anymore. She wasn't trying to defend herself. She was just trying to take Hadley down because she was helping me. And they hated her for it. They knew she had a platform. They knew that people online love to cancel large creators. So they made her the target because that was easier than answering for what they had done. On August 10th, I did the first DNA test. That video and the fallout after will be next. But for now, people have said that Maria only shared stuff privately on her Facebook to family and friends. That's just not true. But even if those posts were private, they weren't. Explain this. Maria and her friends were in Hadley's comment section months before I made a video. They were harassing her and spreading lies, trying to bait her into saying something back. Hadley didn't respond. She just deleted it and moved on. Meanwhile, they're in her comments saying that I was behind on child support and that she moved me into her house after only knowing me for 3 months. For the record, none of that is true. But they weren't interested in the facts. They were interested in turning the internet against her before I ever said one word. And I sat there with DNA results in my hand, knowing everything they were saying was a lie. And that's when it really hit me. This wasn't just about controlling me anymore. This was about making sure no one ever believed me. And if they had to ruin Hadley to do that, they didn't care. On October 8th, I finally posted the truth. I shared the DNA results, I told my story, and I kept it factual. And immediately, Maria's cousin Michelle jumped in to Hadley's DMs. She said, "You're the problem. Brett was never this confident until you were in his ear. He never questioned anything before you." And there it was. It was never about the DNA test. It was never about co-parenting. They were just angry because I was not easy to control anymore. And Hadley, he was never the villain. They just hated that someone finally gave me the strength to stand up for myself. And what really blows my mind is how many creators took their side. Even after Michelle publicly posted that she ever saw Hadley, it was on site. She wasn't even hiding it. She was threatening violence, admitting to lying, and openly trying to destroy her. And instead of calling that out, these creators amplified it. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't look at any of the facts. They just picked up the pitchfork and joined in. So if you're one of those people who helped them do it, you didn't just get it wrong. You helped abusers keep their power. I'll be waiting for an apology.
Well, I don't think this guy's ever going to see an apology or justice, if we're being honest. This is, courts have ordered him to pay child support, pay for extracurriculars, for daycare. There was even a court-ordered DNA test. And apparently after that, if I'm reading the timeline right, he's still stuck in this loop of nonsense for a kid that isn't even his. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know what to say. Like, this is, this is the court of public opinion. That's right, Red Zone. Yeah, this is like, this is what happens in scenarios like that. It's always believe all women. You're basically at a loss at every instance. I've shared the story before. I think I mentioned it in the opening of my book. A call I had with my family lawyer, going through my own untying of the knot in, my divorce. He said something along the lines of, if you have the penis, you're going to lose in family court. And that's proven time and time and time and time again. It's an unfortunate environment that you live in today as a guy, but the truth doesn't matter. Clearly, the truth doesn't matter to family court. It doesn't matter to the women that are leveraging laws to extort and extract money from. He's not a smart man, but he seems like a nice guy. Like, I feel bad for him from that perspective. But this guy is just back-to-back bad choices. It's like, let's be a sperm donor to a psychopath Vietnamese girl. Let's get involved with a single mom with 3 kids. It's just bad story after bad story, and it doesn't get any better. I'm going to take a break for a minute and maybe take some call-ins from you guys before I start talking about sort of like the wrap-up and where things and what things look like and where you typically end up planting your seed when you think it's a good idea to become a sperm donor. I'll share some data on that because I got some screenshots there. Here's a StreamYard link. I'm just going to drop it in YouTube, pin it to the top of the message, and I'll put it in all chat. Call in and ask a question. And we'll put this over here. And I think I saw, before I run the mid-roll ad, I saw some dummy in the comments over here. Where was it? Oh, here we go, on the X platform. So I've said this so many times on my live streams, guys. If there's something that I've dealt with that you disagree with, a remedy to a problem that we face in the world today, there's always an open invite to call in and have a discussion about it. I like having discussions about that sort of thing. I think they become interesting conversations. So if you have a grievance with something that I've talked about, then I would invite you to come on when I'm live and tell me what your better solution is. But I'm going to put this nerd on the spot over here, POUM, whoever you are, in my chat over here. Here we go. Your typical, loser that disagrees with something that just throws ad hom attacks. So poem, or whatever your name is, coward. I dropped the call-in link live in the chat. So don't be a wimp. Call in and let's have a conversation. If you think there's something that I've said or done that you disagree with, that you have a better solution to. Okay. All right, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.